Hey guys, how's it going? Francesco Bologna here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to play Game of Chess. Now, for those of you that don't know, Game of Chess is the Axem Rangers official card game. And basically, for those of you that don't know anything about Game of Chess, well, let me give you a rundown. Game of Chess is by far the easiest Yu-Gi-Oh game anyone can ever play. In fact, what's funny about this game is that this game is very simple in the sense that you don't have any effect cards, you don't have any trap cards, you don't have any magic cards. You just play with whatever card is in the deck. And yes, before you say anything, these are my official Axem Rangers cards. I got these off MPC, and if you flip them over, you basically have, well, the main characters. So you have all the Axem Rangers, and I'm expecting deck 8 along the way. So how does Game of Chess work? Well, basically you have to start off with a shuffle, and then you basically have to cut as you would do in any card game, and then the game begins when you have to deal your opponent at least 5 cards, and then 5 cards to yourself. And then in that game, I'll just put these on the side, and then from here, you then have 5 cards to play. So I'm just gonna put these cards face up so we can actually see exactly what is the hand that this person is playing. And just give me a sec, I just want to organize a few things here. And okay, that should do it. So as you can see, he's got a couple of cards himself, as do I. Now, obviously, this is just for experimental purposes. We are not playing face up. Normally in a regular card game, you would have to keep your cards to yourself. But basically, the way the game works is, it's kind of like war. You basically have to beat the opposing card with the card you currently have in your hand. So let's say, for example, I'm going to take my cards, because I just showed you exactly what these cards are. So let's say, for example, my opponent plays Yellow Ranger, the 2 of clubs. I have to beat him with a higher card, but it has to be of the same suit. The problem is, I don't have a club. So the next thing I need to do is, obviously, I need to pick up a card. And unfortunately, I got nothing. So now it's the opponent's turn. And the opponent's turn, one thing he can do is he can put one card in defense mode. So he can take a higher card and make my life much more complicated, because now if I want to get the 2 of clubs, I have to beat the 9 of clubs first. So basically, defense mode is kind of like a barrier. If you want this card, you have to get through this card first. Obviously, I don't have this card yet, so I gotta pick up another card. And unfortunately, as you can see right now, I have a bad hand. But what if he throws down Angel Ranger, 3 of spades? Now I actually have spades, and all my spades are actually higher than her, so I can counter with any of the spade cards. Just to make it simple, I'm going to counter with Black Ranger, the 5 of spades. So now I have Black Ranger, and there we go, that's 2 cards. So now he has to counter. What card is he going to play? Well, thing is, the only card he could play is Pink Ranger, 5 of diamonds. Now the problem is, I do have diamonds, but they are not higher than that. So when that happens, sometimes you need to sacrifice a couple of cards. So in this case, I'm going to sacrifice my weakest card, which is Pink Junior. And there we go. My opponent takes the card. And now, because all he has left now are the clubs, now he can draw from another hand. So basically, he has to draw up to 4 cards, because now he only has 1. So with that, he just sent in a new hand, and with that, now the game continues. Okay, this is a problem. You can see right here he has an ace. The problem is, the only way to beat an ace is with another ace, or with a joker. Now when it comes to the aces, it doesn't matter which suit it is, because there's only one ace per suit. If it has to be a number card, it has to be of the same suit. But when it comes to ace, it doesn't matter. As long as it's another ace of a different suit, it will beat that card. That's for certain. But when it comes to kings, queens, and jacks, or any number cards, they have to be beaten by the same suit. The only wild cards that are allowed to beat any suit of any number are the jokers. And there are actually 2 jokers in this deck. So let's see what we have here. I am now going to summon Blue Ranger, 7 of spades. Now the good news is that my opponent, he has to start sacrificing cards because he doesn't have a spade that is higher than Blue Ranger. So he has to sacrifice Freak. I take the cards, I make another book. There we go. And now, what happens next? Well, I obviously have to draw from my deck because I don't have any other cards. Oh wait, yes I do! But isn't enough to beat this guy? No, it isn't. But you know what? I'll play it down anyway because, you know, I have to get rid of some cards. So my opponent counters. 8 of clubs. Diotron X. He beats Platinum, and that's it. My opponent gets the win. He can pick up 2 cards if he wants to, and the game continues. And then, if things go way out of hand, if ever my opponent wants, he can throw in the ace. So now, I'm in deep shit, because I don't have an ace. So what do? I have to pick up a card. Very simple. Oops. Looks like I dropped one. Let me just pick it up for a sec. There we go. So now, once again, I don't have an ace. So now it's my opponent's turn. What is he gonna do? Well, I can tell you what. He's gonna drop Platinum, the little one. The good news is, I have a club. And guess what? It's yellow. 5 of clubs. I take his deck, and that's it. That's another book for me. But the problem is, I still have an ace on the field, plus I have a 9 of clubs defending the 2 of clubs. So, unfortunately, I can't do anything with these 2 cards because this one's defending this, and this one is on the field, and the only way I can beat this one is with another ace. So what do? Pick up another card. And yes, finally, after many turns, I play Axem Master, an ace. So now I can take his ace, and that's it. I just defeated the ace. And like I said, the thing about aces, it doesn't matter which suit it is. As long as it's an ace, ace beats ace. That's the bottom line. Now, here's where it gets really tricky. Sometimes, when it comes to card games, the opponent can sometimes put cards face down, so that you have no idea what exactly the card you play. And this is a trick tactic, so you have to be very careful when you play against these two cards. So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go throw down an 8. This guy reveals this card. This is 6 of clubs. Obviously that's not going to do anything because it's not a spade. So basically he just wasted a turn. So now he has to draw some cards. And as you can see, he just drew a queen, a king, king, queen, jack. Now I'm in deep trouble. So now I have to do the only thing I could. I have to waste my card. I waste angel. He hits me with crusher. That's another book for him. So now I have to deal 2 cards. Oh no, sorry. I have to deal 3 cards. But you know what the funny thing is? As far as king, queen, and jack goes, here's something I never told you. I can actually beat all 4 of these cards. And how do I do this? Well, first of all, my opponent has to place one of these cards on the field. And again, it has to be of the same suit. So as of now, I'm actually screwed because I don't have a spade. But I do have a different card. But first, let's see what exactly my opponent is going to throw. He's going to reveal orange. Not much I can do here except draw another card. And once again, I have to start wasting cards. So that's the thing. You gotta waste some cards in order to get the cards you want. He throws in poison. That's it. It's his book. I throw in Green Ranger. She attacks me with Rose. Actually, no, it's Violet. My bad. Sorry, I get confused with some of the names. But yeah, all of his cards are still on the field, including the 9 of clubs defending the 2. So now, I have to draw another card. Oops. Let me just get that. Okay, there we go. So now, my luck has just taken a turn for the worse, because now I have to sacrifice my favorite ranger. And unfortunately, he is the weakest card. 3 of hearts. Rainbow with the king. And there we go. Another book for my enemy. And now, since my opponent has no more cards, he has to draw 4 more. So he's gonna draw, ooh, crud. He has 2 jokers, which means I'm now in deep trouble. Not to mention he has a king. And I don't have any hearts. What do I do? There's only one thing I could do. And that's pick up another card. So, how will he attack me? Well, first things first, I'm going to place down the queen. He attacks me with beta, joker. That's it. There we go. Now, what if I can play a different kind of card? What if I could play, oh, I don't know, 1 card face down? That would change the game now, wouldn't it? My enemy doesn't know exactly what card it is. But then again, I have to sacrifice Tsunami, and he can hit me with Gold Ranger. So Gold Ranger, thank you for playing. And this whole game continues until the entire deck is no more. So now, I'm out of cards. I have to pick up 3 more. And so, do I have a counter attack? Unfortunately, I don't. As of now, my opponent has the bigger hand. So what exactly am I gonna do? I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time. Play 1 card face down, and I'll play another card. my opponent will now draw 2 cards, because obviously he only has 3. And it is mandatory that you have to have at least 5 cards as soon as you finish making your move. So, right now, again, I'm at a huge disadvantage. Actually, no, I am not at a disadvantage anymore, because now I can play Hell Ranger and beat Brown. That is, of course, if he played it. So, if he did play it, which he did, I can beat him. So now, I have to take 1 more card. It looks like now, my luck is not gonna change, unfortunately. But what I could do, once again, is waste a card. So, I'm gonna waste my weakest card, Black Ranger, 2 of clubs. Of course, my opponent can counter with the other Joker. So now I have 4 cards in my hand. I can pick up another one. My opponent can pick up 2. And now, let's say for example my opponent hits Lava, the Jack of Spades. I can reveal my face down card, King of Spades, Crusher Ranger. I can beat him and take his book. That easy. But there's still one problem. I still have this guy defending him. What else should I do? Well, wait a minute. What if he makes the situation even more grim? He can even switch a card that he currently has in defense mode, which means I have to get through orange just to beat him. So now it's my move. I don't have any cards, so I have to pick up another. And, ooh, here's an idea. What if my character played this card, Green Ranger? I can counter him with red, and that should do it. I get a book. And next, we each draw 1 card. Actually, he draws 2, and I'm going to draw 1 because I don't have any luck at the moment. So, what happens next? Well, he's going to play a 7, and as for me, I can't do anything, so I gotta pick up another card. Ooh! Now this is where things get interesting. I'm gonna play 1 card face down. So no one has any idea what these 2 cards are. But I can tell you right now, they're devastating. So, let's see now. What next card should I play? You know what, actually, I'm going to let my opponent decide next what card to play. Eight and a 7. Now, here's where things get messy. He can actually choose one of these cards face down. I'm actually going to reveal one of them. I'm just going to move this out of the way. No, that's not it. He takes this card. Ace. I can take any one of these cards. I pick the biggest. I pick Rose Ranger. And with that, I just got another card, and my opponent is getting destroyed. But the game is still far from over because we still have a full deck. So he could take 2 more cards, and I basically have to make my move. I'm going to summon the Queen of Spades, that's Lightning. He's going to draw Sigma. Actually, no, that's Aqua, my bad. But yeah, once again, I take a card, and I win the book. So now, next part, I'm gonna play. Well, actually, my opponent first is gonna take a card. Now this is where strategy really comes into play, because we really have to take another card, unfortunately. But the good news is, I did it! I have a card that's big enough to hit this, so I can take him, beat him, and I take his book, and now this guy is defenseless. Because now there's nobody protecting him. Which means next move, it could be, if it's higher than this, I can beat him. Which basically leaves him open-handed. So now, I'm gonna basically, let's see now. I'm just gonna grab the last card. He's gonna play 7 of diamonds, and I'm gonna beat him with a 9. And obviously, because there are no more cards in the deck, we basically fold, and that's it. That's the end of the game. And then after that, we pretty much have to count our cards. So I end up with, I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I have 22 cards. My opponent, on the other hand, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So basically that means I win. So yeah, this is basically, I pretty much win this duel. And as for these cards, unfortunately, they do not count, because these are pretty much the sole survivors of Game of Chess. And for those of you wondering, what exactly was this face down card? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can guarantee you that the last face down card was in fact Master Falcon of XR-Ray. Funny how I never got a chance to use this card during battle, but when it's used, it's devastating. But that's not the only card, and this isn't even the only deck. In fact, the funny thing is, you don't need to play with just one deck. Let me show you something. Look at all of this stuff. Oops. What you see here is basically 9 decks of playing cards. And you could basically play this with as much as you want. Obviously, I'm playing with only one. The trick, though, is to play as many playing cards as you possibly can. The more playing cards, the longer and the better chance you have of winning. And with that being said, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace freaking